I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We are joined by Cornelius. Hi.
Hello, Eric. Hello, everyone.
Hey, appreciate you coming on. Please introduce yourself.
All right. I don't have an official opening, but I usually say that. Hello, I am Cornelius Calgary. I am a half-elf wizard, streaming to pay for my wizard school tuition, and it's a pleasure to meet you all.
Now, so do you have enough wizard training now to be dangerous?
Well, I myself would say yes, but everybody that knows me would say no.
Yeah, that's fine.
I am no threat to anyone.
And no accidental explosions of things and that type of stuff?
Accidental from time to time,
Yeah.
but even if it was intentional, I wouldn't be able to make it, so it's fine.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. I really do. So let us know, when did you get started on VTubing?
Oh, it was very recently, actually. I started on late May of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been a VTuber fan since 2019.
Oh, wow. So you are an OC. Or OG,
literally,
I should say.
Yes.
OG.
I was
fan.
OG.
Yeah.
As a fan, I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. The original. That's you with that. So was it a question of finally deciding that you want to give it a shot?
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's actually something I've been debating for a long time from all the periods that I've been a VTuber fan.
Yeah.
Because at the same time that I started watching VTubers, a little bit before, a couple of months before, I started playing D&D. And those were the two things, especially in the pandemic, that were the two things that basically fulfilled my life. I only did these two things.
Yeah.
And I discovered VTubing because of D&D. I am the owner of a D&D server where I play basically online using Discord and Roll20, which is a D&D site.
Yes.
With people from all around the world. And there was this guy that made a character that used the picture of a VTuber. And at that point, I didn't know what a VTuber was. I thought it was an anime thing, but then it looked different than an anime thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to look this up. And I basically reverse searched the image. And turns out it was Nyanners from, the indie VTuber. And she was live when I was looking her up. And I opened her stream, and it was like that one meme from Danny DeVito, which is like crying from happiness, like, I get it.
Yeah.
That was how I discovered VTubers.
So you discovered it, but it also discovered you at the same time.
Literally, basically, yes. It basically, yeah, literally. I was kind of that because it was really starting the West too back in 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
And always being a fan, always watching, following things. I actually met a person in real life that turns out they were a VTuber, a Barrow Run, a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And, she was starting out. I think I met her on the week that she's about to start streaming, and she did.
Yeah.
And I helped her out a little bit because of my quote-unquote knowledge of VTubing. So I helped her basically because she didn't know a lot about the medium, and I knew as a fan. And I helped her out. I am her mod on Twitch.
Yeah.
And then one time, she streamed with me. I was playing, we were playing, I think, Fall Guys.
Yeah.
And I was just like a PNG.
Yeah.
And during our conversations, she said, you know what? You're talkative, Corn. Why don't you start streaming? It's like, you know what? I'll think about it.
Yeah.
And I took that to heart, and now I've been streaming since May.
So when you got started, did you go all in? Did you push in all the chips and buy all the super fancy stuff, or did you dip your toe in the water?
No, because what I did was this character, Corn, is my D&D character, my very first D&D character, and because I know how he worked, the story that I gave him, I basically he's basically an extension of me.
Yeah.
That's what D&D characters end up being, right? At the end of the day,
Oh yeah.
so it's like, and I got the a free art as well from Reddit, r/I can draw that. Sometimes you just give people like, hey, if anybody wants to draw this real quick, I just need this thing, and usually it's for free.
Right.
And an artist made a sketch that I use for my character since forever,
Yeah.
and that was basically my PNG tuber. And
Yeah.
then later, with a Twitter raffle, with an artist, Shiro1 on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
I won a model, and
Excellent.
now I have a model and my PNG.
That's fortuitous, but also perfect, isn't it? It just kind of
Yes.
the doors are opening for you. It's like you go in. This is where you
Yes,
go.
no, literally.
Yeah, you.
Literally. I was so happy. I was so happy when I won the raffle. I was like, oh my God. It was fantastic. It's all that I ever needed.
So
The
you
problem is I don't have the oh, go ahead, sorry.
go. Promise you don't have what?
I don't have basically the capacity on my computer to run my model and games at the same time. So at the moment, I'm still a PNG tuber, but I do have a model. When I'm only doing like just chatting or my podcast, I use the model.
No.
Otherwise, I can't.
It's you're too advanced for your own system now.
Exactly. Exactly. My system could not keep up.
You are too OP.
Yes, yeah, man. Literally, yeah.
That's that.
I need to fix this.
That's something else. So um, you've been playing D&D for a while, since before really the pandemic hit. It's
Mm-hmm.
so much different than when I was a kid and played it. Of course, that you're talking 50 years ago. No, not quite 50, but 40 some years ago.
Yes.
I mean, we had one, maybe two books that we worked off of.
Exactly.
And we really,
Uh,
you say that your character is a lot like you. Back then, we only had like a few things to choose from.
he
Yeah,
did have a lot of options.
yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
That's
And
absolutely
so,
true.
but it's good to see that it has grown to the point where so many people are enjoying it still.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, it grew a lot in the pandemic itself,
mm,
like D&Ds in general.
yeah,
And also dipping my toes in other systems because I never tried other systems. And I've played like Pathfinder. I'm scheduled like to start playing Starfinder with my group too. So
mm.
we're like we're expanding our horizons as well in tabletop RPGs.
And now that you got your own server with it, I mean, are you mostly
Mhm.
the DM, or are you hosting other DMs?
Usually the system we have. Oh, sorry, my mic blew out.
That's okay.
The system we have is uh, we basically it's a system of DMs, and I DM, my friends DM, and people that join in they're free to DM as well.
Mm,
And then the players, if they can make it that time and the day, they just play the game.
mm,
It's a system that we call the West March system,
mm.
which is not like the usual campaign, which is the same group in the same story. Usually a DM makes a game and then people can join if they can make the time and date.
Well, that's called the what system
And
again?
yeah, West March system.
Westmarch. That sounds like something out of Fallout.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
literally, right? Yeah.
and then in the year
Uh,
2113, the Westmarch system was in.
exactly. It is something like that.
Yeah,
I think it comes from Adventure League.
yeah,
I think the system like Old Less Dead.
yeah.
And now we're kind of slowed down because now there's the actual new book that came out, the D&D 1,
Yeah,
and we're like in a transitional period, so we're not having games at the moment. It's kind of slow.
everybody's
But on
everybody's looking for clues right now.
yeah, the PHB, which is the player's handbook, came out, but we don't have the DMG yet. So we have the player things, but we don't have the monsters things yet. So we're kind of stuck. So I have to
So,
wait a little bit.
so I got to ask you some questions as you're a DM, because
Absolutely.
yeah, I used to enjoy. I mean, and you know this by now. Your players always like to enjoy torturing the DMs as much as possible. Um,
Absolutely.
so back in the 1800s, the the thing to do was for DMs to randomly roll a dice. If everybody was
Hmm.
getting, too too set for themselves, they didn't have anything going on. They just rolled a dice. Um, and they'd go, and then you keep going, and everybody's like, what would they just do? What am I going to get hit by?
What's happening? Yeah,
Yeah.
to keep the thing in a suspension. Yeah.
So what do you do to keep everybody in line?
Usually my players are basically my friends. I've been talking to them since then. I
Mm-hmm.
would call them my best friends actually. And since we all of them are DMs as well, so
Wow.
we all know the system very well, and we all know our limits.
Yeah.
But of course, yeah, sometimes people want to get silly, right? And that's completely okay with me.
Right.
I like to think I am one of the DMs that are mostly okay with any idea. Any idea that you have, we can try. I go by the rule of cool. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I call. If it's cool, it might happen. You just need to roll for it,
Yeah.
right? But if I feel like the story needs a little bit of spice, or like if everything is too repetitive, we need to change the pace a little bit. I
Yeah.
usually introduce what the type of character I like to call the little guy, which is usually a kobold or a fairy, a
Mm.
sprite, or a goblin. That's very quirky,
Right.
like a gremlin type of character. Just to spice things up, having them as a companion for a while,
Yeah. Yeah.
just to change the interest of the party for a little bit.
just a somewhat but not really helpful addition.
Yes, either that or somebody, because we're playing the game I'm playing more. What can I say? Consistently, should say, is the Tomb of Annihilation.
Mm.
Is the game I'm running,
Yeah.
and because it's the Tomb of Annihilation, and there's a lot of stuff, a lot of traps around, a lot of evil monsters.
Right.
If I need to, I somebody just receives like a telepathic message from somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and it just causes problems. Probably it's just a save that they need to do something silly,
Mm-hmm.
or it's just a conversation or a foreshadowing for something that's coming up. Keeping them on their toes.
See, we used to torture the DM quite a bit back in the day, and it didn't help that one of the people that sat next to me was one of those guys with an
Hmm.
IQ of about 1,000. So they
Oh
actually
hell yeah!
they actually knew what to do. I was just evil, and and they were smart. So I took their ideas and warped them to my my own things, and just it would drive him crazy. He'd have some really elaborate thing set up, some type of trap, and we'd solve
Hmm.
it by carrying a dead body and throwing it into the room in front of us. And it
That's
sets off all the
fantastic.
traps, and then we just walk in and get what we weren't supposed to get.
That's fantastic. I
Yeah,
love when players, because that I think that's the best part of being a DM,
yeah,
is like to come up with anything like a story or a contraption or a mission or a combat, and it doesn't matter how much experience you are, you will always expect, oh, the players will do this and this, these are the possible outcomes.
yeah.
But it's fantastic how the players always manage to innovate, and I think it's fantastic all the time.
One of the times we really got him, and you got to remember we're dealing with a very basic game here. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
you had your clerics, you had thief. That was about it. I mean, we had you could be half orc basically was the spice. So
Hmm.
my character was a cleric. Clerics can't have edged weapons, obviously, and back then they couldn't even have anything that was a ranged weapon. You couldn't even have that as a
Oh,
cleric.
fair enough.
So my guy opens a uh, chest and gets something that the DM came up with as the staff of probably Ra, which is a god he used a lot. and they had all sorts of powers. Had like 13 charges of all this stuff, and he
Mm-hmm.
rolls, and the god appears and says he's going to, smite everybody and take the rod back unless I can complete his task. And
Okay,
his
that's
task,
interesting.
yeah, and his task is to bring him the heads of 2 dragons. Now,
Jesus.
remember, I'm a cleric. I don't have anything sharp to take them off with at the beginning with.
Mm-hmm.
2, I'm like level 3. I'm,
Oh
yeah, I'm
no.
I'm not going to be able to do all this, and basically everybody's going to be dead. Here's the problem.
Uh-huh.
I get to keep and use the staff while doing it, and one of the powers of the staff was to move at near the speed of light.
Oh, okay. That's actually funny. That's fantastic.
So not only did I bring him the heads of the dragons, because I don't need anything sharp, I just, stick out a
Mm-hmm.
stick and up pops the head. I killed all of the dragons. and and I solved the
That's
dungeon.
that's fantastic.
And
That's fantastic.
I said, I just did it. Just, well, you that rolls. No, I moved almost at the speed of light. There's no way I could be stopped. I finished it. I win.
Yeah. At the speed of light, like literally cannot. That's what I like about BDM as well. It's giving the players like the most crazy items. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I like to think myself, or at least, I'm more chill about it now. But back when I was like actually starting liking VTubers, I like to call myself the high priest of VTubers because I went around trying to convert my friends into watching VTubers too.
The cult
So
grows.
creating a cult, yes, literally. So I said to my friend, "Hey, if you watch this VTuber clip with me, I'll give your character a legendary item."
Mm.
And so I did. I gave him. It was a from Hololive Mori Calliope and Shiori novella clip,
Oh yeah.
and I made him a whole legendary item based on Shiori novella called the Scissors of Life Sharing, which is basically scissors that he can use to attack because he was like a ranger fighter type.
Mm.
And I gave him a lot of like things like he could use the scissors to cut pieces of the enemies and eat for like killings. It's like it's a whole Wikipedia page of an item.
Yeah.
And when I did that, the other players was like, "Wait, so you're saying that if we watch VTuber clips, you're gonna give us each one a legendary item?" I
Yeah.
was like, "Well, no, I did it to him, but if
Yeah.
you guys wanted,
Yeah.
and now my entire party has a legendary item each based on a VTuber."
Are all of them good legendary items, or did you sneak a few not so good ones in there?
Oh no, actually, I actually made them good. It's because it's Tomb of Annihilation, right? And the module itself, it does not give a lot of useful items,
Yeah.
and it's a very deadly module.
Yeah.
I gave them like actually useful items that are saving their skins like for the majority of the campaign at this point because the tomb is really harsh.
That's
So
cool.
like I'm actually gonna give them a help a little bit.
Yeah. Now, have you played any of the Dungeons and Dragons games that came out for the computer? That were actually Advanced Dungeons and Dragons or Dungeons and Dragons.
The computers, no. I think I've played one. I played D&D online once, the MMO, but I'm
Mm.
not really big on MMOs, so I didn't play it for long.
Mm.
I think I also tried Neverwinter Nights for a
Mhm.
while.
Yeah.
The original Baldur's Gate. I think I played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, but I didn't like play it a lot because it wasn't on my computer, so
Mm.
I didn't get to enjoy it very
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I played a lot of Icewind Dale,
Mm.
and of course now I played like 400 hours of Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. Of course. Of course. When I first got my computer, it was a Commodore 64. That tells you again how old I am.
Damn.
Really
You're fine.
now. No, but it came we had what were called the gold box games that were uh, SSL, I believe, had the original Dungeons and Dragons games, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons games, and we played it over and over and over and over again. We had everything maxed out, and we still went in and played them. It
Hmm.
was very fun, and I really do think that Dungeons and Dragons as the game has inspired so many different games that they should be
For
getting
sure.
a cut from all of these things. Um,
For
if
sure, absolutely.
there's I mean the basic role playing type thing I think has got something borrowed from Dungeons and Dragons. Um,
Hmm. No, absolutely. I absolutely see it.
yeah, and whether you're playing any game that levels up. I mean,
Hmm.
if people haven't played Dungeons and Dragons and don't know the glory of leveling up to get new spells, uh,
Ooh,
yeah,
brother,
yeah,
it's fantastic. It's the best feeling in the world.
yeah, and a little bit more hit points, and that is you can even go to Mario games now and find that. So it's there's so much influence, and I'm glad to see that folks are getting back to the basics with it
Uh-huh.
uh,
No, absolutely.
as much as they can.
I think that I would say that basically Dungeons and Dragons and the Lord of the Rings, the books,
Hmm.
are basically the 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 pillars of the fantasy genre. Like
Hmm.
everything surrounds them in some way or another. It borrows from them.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, you don't have Diablo without Dungeons and Dragons.
Exactly.
Well,
Diablo, pretty big game as well.
oh yeah,
A gigantic franchise.
yeah. Heck, I don't think you have Fallout without it because it's still there's still a lot of that building and what you're
Mm-hmm.
out you certain weapons are better against certain things and to think that all came out when it did, the original germ of the idea, and it's 50 some years old
Yeah,
is pretty amazing.
exactly.
So, do you when you're online and playing, do you usually play those sort of games, or are you doing all sorts of different games?
Usually I play all sorts of different games because again, my computer can handle so much. But I do have a current series that's beginning actually. I only had 2 episodes of Fallout series, and I'm basically doing a Fallout run of a
Mm,
specific build,
yeah,
and I cannot run Baldur's Gate on like with stream. I can play it offline, but if I open OBS and Baldur's Gate, my computer crashes. I
yeah,
cannot
yeah. I
play Baldur's Gate.
I was so angry
But
because I got Fallout 3 and I got Fallout New Vegas and 4,
mhm.
but my computer is just not good enough to play 4. But
And 4 is so good
yeah,
too.
but at least I got to do New Vegas and 3, and I had played 1 and 2
Hmm.
way back in the 1800s, and
Back in the day.
yeah, and I enjoyed it so much. I broke the games and cheated and all that stuff with them. That was so much
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
So which ones are you running right now? Which Fallout ones?
I am playing Fallout 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for my basically because I want to make a series. I want to play like the entire like basically like a let's play
Yeah.
and separate the VODs and everything. So I am playing Fallout 4 and I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yeah.
Uh, I really want to play as I can. I won't absolutely won't be able to play it on stream, but I'm looking forward for Dragon Age Veilguard
You are not the first
because
person to
damn.
mention that.
Oh yeah, I really I liked Inquisition. Like I still think none of them surpass Dragon Age Origins. Like Dragon Age Origins is the best in
Hmm.
story wise, but that's the problem with like with as the games progresses,
Hmm.
and that's something that I think is more particular for me. I know a lot of people don't care about it, but like if I get Dragon Age Origin and Dragon Age Inquisition,
Yeah.
I like the story and everything surrounding Dragon Age Origins more,
Yeah.
but Dragon Age Inquisition is bigger, has a better UI, the mechanics are more developed. That I end up playing the new thing, right? I know it's a blasphemy, like a gamer blasphemy, but I usually enjoy the newer games because they're more advanced.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, I understand that. I understand that. But if there's some games that you jump into because there's so many follow-up games now. I mean, Final
Mm-hmm.
Fantasy 78 is probably coming out soon. Um, but
Literally.
if you jump in and you don't have at least a knowledge of what happened in the previous games, it might make it a little tougher, no matter how smoother the game plays.
I know, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then you get interested and start playing backwards and in through them.
Yeah.
And although with the Fallout series, if you go back to one and play it, you're in for a real whiplash.
Yeah, it's very different
It's,
for sure.
I mean, there's
For
so
sure.
the story is a lot of the same, but the gameplay is so much different. Um, there'll be a lot of people who try it and just give up immediately. So why am I doing this when I could have done this in New Vegas?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think New Vegas, I would say about of like Oblivion, like comparing like the Bethesda games.
Mm-hmm.
New Vegas, I think it breaks the mold because usually people go for the original games, and those are the best.
Right.
No questions asked. I think Fallout broke the mold with New Vegas. New Vegas is basically the quintessential. Wow,
Quintessential.
that word.
Yes.
Quintessential, exactly. Fallout now, even though it's not the originals.
Right.
And I think the same goes for Oblivion Skyrim. I think they surpassed the others as well.
Yeah.
And that's, weirdly enough, that only happens on Bethesda as far as I know.
Yeah. And these game companies now are putting out games that you can add to with the DLCs. And some of them are fan made, some of them are others, but they settle in and hopefully smoothly. But they add on to the game experience. So instead of getting, Joe's Garage 2, you get an add-on to Joe's Garage 1, and maybe someone else buys Joe's Garage 1 to play that as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It also saves them from feedback if Joe's Garage 2 is really bad.
It's really bad, exactly.
So I think we're
don't even get me started on the add-ons and DLCs and stuff like that.
Yeah. But some of them, with the Fallout series that came out, it really pushed a lot of them, and without DLCs, no one's playing Fallout 76 probably.
True.
Add-ons certainly helped No Man's Sky a lot because people are still playing that even though the rollout was so disastrous.
Absolutely.
These are sometimes they're saving the games, sometimes they're just putting off having to come up with something new.
Exactly. The difference also, I think, is because like all the add-ons on No Man's Sky are free.
Yeah.
Like if you have the game, you get everything for free. And they just added, like, I think yesterday or like 2 days ago, a new add-on. I think they have up to 10 now. And that's another thing why I like Baldur's Gate, because Baldur's Gate, they made the game, they roll it out, the game is full and complete. Of course, they're doing tweaks and fixes
right
in there, but there's no DLC coming, there's no sequel, well, by the same company.
Right.
There's no sequel coming. That's the game, that's the experience. If you get it, you get it. And I really like that system. If we go by other systems, like especially in Brazil, I forgot to mention, sorry for those who don't know, I'm Brazilian.
Hello, Brazil.
In Brazil, hello, Brazil, exactly. Come to Brazil, everyone. Add-ons in games in general, electronic games in general, are very expensive in Brazil because we have like a tax on electronics here. So the more you have to expand on like add-ons and DLCs and packages and skins, it racks up. Like if I want to play The Sims 4 with all the DLCs, I have to pay around $4,000.
Whoa.
To play. Yes, it's crazy.
Whoa.
It's crazy. So I really appreciate when a game like No Man's Sky, like Baldur's Gate 3, like Cyberpunk, who also did a good job
Yeah.
with their DLC, where like you get you can buy like at least one. If you want to expand, give us one DLC that does a ton, and that's it.
Yeah.
Don't make us keep playing. Like I can never play like I bought Destiny 2, and I have a big problem with Destiny 2. When I realized that I couldn't play the previous stories because of the vault system.
Oh.
I was like, what? That's crazy to me. I was like, I'm playing. I bought, I think when I bought it, I think I bought a package because it was like discounted. I bought a package with like Beyond Light.
Right.
That was Beyond Light that came out. And I was playing like, I'm having fun. This is a fun game. Like lots of mechanics are fun.
Yeah.
But like, I did the story. Okay, I want to do the first story, the Red War. And I was like, wait, I can't find the planet with the Red War. Let me look online. And I like was asking like around on Reddit and like forums, and like, you can't play the Red War.
That's right.
I was like, what? I can't play the first story? Like, no, because the vault system and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. They gave you something, but they took something away too at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, what?
I was like, what?
What'd you do that for?
That to me was literally like a culture shock. I was like, there's no way this is. Why is this allowed?
Well, I would be a lot more angry than culture shocked at that point.
Yeah. I was like, bro. I was like, you know what? Fair. I'm never buying anything from Destiny 2 again. But
That's
fair,
right.
I guess.
Right. So, when you're on stream right now, what will I see? What are you playing at right now?
Oh, right now I am doing a lot of. I'm also in a Minecraft SMP, so I'm doing a lot of Minecraft SMP because we have it's ending actually. We have like a Halloween event that's been going through the month.
Cool.
So we have challenges and we have like tokens to find that are hidden around the world.
Yeah.
And when the member of the SMP with most points will get like rewards by the end of the event. Really fun. I really recommend everybody to check out the Ireland's SMP.
Yeah.
Besides that, more solo stuff. I am playing, like I said, Fallout 4. I'm playing a lot of Fall Guys, which is really funny because I'm a very calm person, and people know me like as a nice, calm person. Fall Guys is a rage game for me. I get really, really mad playing Fall Guys. I don't get mad playing any other competitive game.
No, but that one you do.
Like if I'm playing Overwatch, I'm having fun. Like I'm not getting angry at dying on Overwatch. I'm playing Overwatch too as well.
Yeah.
But like Fall Guys, for some reason, switches something in my brain that I just get so mad to play Fall Guys.
Is it a combination of you making a mistake and then somebody else capitalizing on it and or somebody getting through when you can't? There's just something that's so deeply personal about that game.
Yes, that is true. Besides that, I'm also doing a bi-weekly podcast with another creator, Macaron DM.
Excellent.
Which is called the Snack Time Podcast because, she's a macaron and I'm a corn. So, we're snacks. Snack Time Podcast. Where we basically discuss various topics. So we have like a wheel of topics that we spin.
Yeah.
And me and Macaron, we basically are the masters of yapping and going to tangents. So like sometimes we talk for hours and we haven't even spun the wheel yet. So I highly recommend. It's a highlight of my channel display.
Well, I highly recommend you find out what Corn's got going on. We're going to have as many links as we've been able to find for Corn up in the description for this interview. And again, we're going to have to get you back on again because we barely got started, didn't we? Over this.
Yeah.
We got a lot to go.
Literally.
Yeah, we got a lot to go. But thank you so much for coming on. And we'll get that up here really soon. And when we start doing our part twos, which come up in December, we're going to get you on very quick.
Ooh.
So be ready. I'm going to keep bugging you.
Absolutely. I'm shaking, eager to come. I'm very happy for the opportunity. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Eric. And thank you to your wife as well, because I know she helps you out with everything.
Yeah, and even when she doesn't, she does. honey, you're doing great. Thank you very much. Put that down. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity, Eric.
Thanks so much. We'll talk again soon. Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.